Greetings, dear friends, and welcome to Better Than Yesterday. Do you struggle to get stuff done? One trait that you'll notice of very successful people is that they have the ability to get things done. Now, what does that mean, to get stuff done? It's quite a vague statement that you're throwing at me. Well, simply what it means is, if you say that you are going to do something right now, by the end of the day, will that task actually be done? Now, if this is something that you struggle with, then I think you fit into a percentage that covers almost all people. And that is simply because it's not very easy to stick to your own word, especially when it comes to doing things that aren't very easy to do. And that's usually what we are talking about here, is things that are not easy to do, but they are things that you have to do. So this is definitely one of the biggest things that I've gained over my few years here on this earth. Some of the knowledge that I've gained in the last few years is simply that you need to have the ability to drop what you're doing right now and get stuff done. Get something done that you know needs to be done, but you keep on putting it off. You keep on making an excuse in your head, like, oh, I'll do it later, or I'll start that next year. I hear so often people my age, and just my peers and friends that I'm speaking to, and I often find myself guilty of doing this as well. And this is actually how you stop it, is as soon as you hear these words coming out of your mouth, you need to stop yourself and question, am I actually the type of person that I really want to be? So if you find yourself maybe talking about something that you want to get into, something that you know you need to get done, maybe it's getting into the gym, starting to work out, or maybe it's even starting to eat healthily, or maybe it's starting your university studies, or maybe it's starting a new side hustle. Whatever that thing is in your life that you know you want to get done, but you keep on putting it off. As soon as you find these words coming out of your mouth, oh, I can't start right now because, this year, the year's almost over and I might as well wait until next year. Right now I've got quite a lot of things. I've got to go and celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day with my family. Sometimes you find yourself making the most silly excuses as to why you can't do something. And I hear other people speaking, when they speak about their ambitions, then I ask them, okay, why haven't you started that yet? Maybe the ambition is starting a YouTube channel like this. Whatever it is, people make up the most silly excuses you'll ever hear as to why they can't get started right now. And all that is an excuse. You can get started right now, today, but you decide not to, and you refuse. If you were to drop what you're doing right now and get started on that thing that you know you need to get going with, you would start making progress. And that excuse of, oh, the year's almost over, I'll start that next year, next year I'm going to be this type of person. There's this thing called the calendar effect that often comes into play. And you can easily find yourself being guilty of this, is that you put things off for a certain date. Maybe it's not the end of the year, but maybe it's, once you finish, some type of course that you're doing, or maybe it's whatever that excuse is that you're coming up with in your mind. As soon as you hear yourself making an excuse, all you need to do is ask yourself a little question. Is that a viable excuse, or am I just making an excuse for myself to actually be lazy and not put in the hard work right now? If you were to start on that project right now, you would make so much progress, instead of waiting all that time until when you say you're going to do it. And I can guarantee you, if you are making an excuse right now, then you will probably make another excuse at the date that you said you were going to do it. Once you get to the end of the year and it's now the new year, you'll probably make an excuse like, oh, well, I'm still busy with my studies, so I can't get onto that, or whatever it is. And believe me, I'm calling you out, but at the same time, this is something that I think everyone starts to do naturally, because our body is actually, I think it's our brain, but definitely it's almost like your body as well, doesn't like being put through the hard work. Oftentimes, something like that is stressful. It's not easy, it's not watching Netflix, it's not going out with your friends. So it's easy to find excuses, but as soon as you make an excuse, just really ask yourself, can I actually get started with this right now, today? And I'm sure that you probably could get started right now. You could just do the first smallest step. This is something that I'll credit Jordan Peterson with, is what he says is basically just take the smallest incremental step towards that goal that you have in mind right now. That step could be literally as small as, for example, if it's a project that you've got to do for school, make the Word document, blank document, type your name and the name of the project, put that there. That is the smallest step, and if that's all you do for today, at least that is a start. Because if you get started now, you will continue to work on it every day, and obviously you have to keep practicing that discipline to keep working on it. But if you never start, that's the thing. People are always putting it off, and we always tend to do that. I find is that we tend to delay the start because obviously, one interesting excuse that I used to use, and a lot of people, I've heard this from a lot of other people as well, is that they say, I work well under pressure. So for me, it's better if I start closer to the time, because that way I'll be under more pressure to get it done, and I work better under pressure. No, you do not. That is an excuse for you being lazy, so that right now you can relax, take it easy, chill, and be mellow. But at the end of the day, you can get started right now, and you could work on it just as well right now if you applied the discipline. Discipline is something that is practiced. It doesn't come, you're not going to be turned from someone who is always putting things off and making excuses to being someone who is super disciplined in a very short period of time. However, it doesn't take as long as you might think. Literally, once you start keeping promises to yourself, this is something that Daniel, my co-host of this channel, and I've spoken about before, is that when you make those promises to yourself, maybe sometimes you say, okay, I'm going to start it at this period. Then that day comes about and you find another excuse. You've just broken a promise to yourself. And now your inner little angel sitting on your shoulder, perhaps, trusts you less. And it knows that you've just broken a promise to yourself. Now you make another promise, okay, I'm going to start on this day. But now in your head, you already know, last time I didn't get it done, so it's kind of fine if I don't do it again. And it just becomes a cycle where you never actually end up getting this thing that you know you need to do. You never end up getting it done. So stop making excuses, drop what you're doing right now, and get going on that goal that you have in mind. And you'll already have made a whole bunch of progress by the time you reach that day that you said you were going to start it. So I hope this was something of interest to you. Hope it was something that struck a chord in the heart there. And if you did enjoy listening to me, then please consider leaving a like on this video. I do appreciate you if you've watched this far. And if you want to see more content like this, then consider subscribing to Better Than Yesterday and following us to see more content where we just talk about striving to be better than who we were yesterday. I also want to give a special shout out to Daniel, my co-host who I mentioned earlier, as of the date of uploading this video, when this video goes live and when you're watching, it is his birthday. So wish him a happy birthday in the comments. But we're going to be back very soon for some more fun topics and some more knowledge and wisdom from these two great minds, Daniel and Michael. And if you are here for it, we'll see you in the next one. But much love from Better Than Yesterday.